my big thing to my community is like, I'm not against IVF. I have an IVF baby. But what I'm against is the knowledge that's not being put out there, that you still have to take responsibility for your cellular health before you extract the egg and the sperm. And not that there's studies, because I don't think anyone out there is technically studying it. It's just observation that the IVF babies are 30% more likely to have all these chronic issues. And I don't think it's the treatment. I don't even think it's the drugs, which really have never been studied, especially autoimmune drugs. That's a big thing for me because I used autoimmune drugs as well. It's the fact that the mother and the father are not healthy. They don't have that consciousness. They get pushed through, and then they continue to live the same lifestyle. And I mean, I know you don't know, pregnancy is so demanding, but I know that you have as much knowledge as you possibly can as a man. But I'm like, that baby's going to suck the life out of you. So if you barely have life going on, you're putting yourself and your baby at like really high risks for, long-term future health.
Yeah, I think it's a really important point to mention. I'm not opposed to IVF with like everything I just said about technology. I'm all for it. My job is to support couples, meet them where they're at, and help them achieve families. So I have nothing against it. I want everyone to really be well educated and understand the decisions that they're making. And I think that's lacking. 50% of the couples we support are going through either IUI or IVF. So I understand what goes into it. I understand how demanding pregnancy can be. I understand how demanding parenthood is.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I think it's essential that we don't just assume because we're going to do IVF that I don't have to do anything different in my life, that, oh, we're just going to walk in and get pregnant with IVF and, go on our merry way. I agree. I think we all need to take responsibility for ourselves. I think we run into a lot of problems when we forego our responsibility as humans and as parents or potential parents and just say, well, I could just live I could keep doing everything I normally do. It doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to get pregnant. And then, we go on from here. The reality is then you are compromising your genetic lineage by doing that, because your genes, how your health right now, how you are when you conceive a child, your health when you are carrying a child is going to impact the health of that child moving forward. And by the way, the children that they produce, right? Yeah. And so we want to be as healthy as possible when we're putting ourselves in that situation to create healthy families, healthy children's moving forward. And I think that's really, really important. And I agree, a lot of people just don't do that. And that's a huge problem. I think it's interesting. I think it'd be interesting to look at a study. I don't know who's going to do it, but to look at a study of IVF couples who were successful, and those, one, to see like if you were healthier, were you more successful? And then two, of the ones who had children, the ones who were proactive and took care of themselves and were healthier versus the ones who didn't. And what do those children's health-wise look like? Because you had mentioned that 30% number of IVF children having health issues, and it's a high number. I don't put all of it just on our individual health. I do think that the medication and the protocols that we're going through are definitely going to contribute to that. But I'd be curious to see, what does that look like? What's that difference? I don't think anyone's going to do it, because it would compromise too much of like the IVF industry. Exactly. If we did that. So it's never going to happen, but I think it'd be interesting to look at.